This exercise, we will be showing you how to insert a picture into an Excel document. If you have taken Word and are familiar with Word, inserting a picture in Excel really works the same way. You will go to the Insert tab. You will click Pictures. You will find the picture that you're wanting to insert. Mine is on my desktop. I'm going to scroll down, and I've got this awesome owl picture. So it's inserted this awesome owl picture. And from here, this is where you can format the picture. You will see that there is a pictures toolbar that now comes up, and you can play around with these different features to change the color, add, borders, do different picture effects. You can even, change the size over here, the height or the width of your picture. So pretty simple. Excel, as far as inserting a picture goes, works just the same as Word. For this exercise, we are going to look at adding shapes, drawing lines, and adding text to shapes. So the first thing it wants us to do is to open our shapes practice, which I've already got it opened here. But it wants us to click on the Add by Constraints tab and make sure that it's active. So usually the tabs we're referencing or appear in the ribbon. And this is not the tab that we're speaking of when we talk about the Add by Constraints tab. That's actually a worksheet tab that it's referring to. And so it's at the bottom here. So you see Add by Constraints, Overlap, and Corrections. So we're going to be working with this Add by Constraints tab. So a different worksheet. Okay, now my directions though are on this corrections page. So the next thing it's going to have us do is click on the Insert tab, go to the Illustrations group, and click the Shapes button. And we're going to pick a left arrow shape, and then we're going to put it by the minimum audience row. And then we're going to change the size to the correct size, and we're going to be looking at the commands found within that Shape Tools toolbar, and we're going to change it to a red accent 2 in the Styles group. So I will show you all of those directions. So here we go. We're going to go to the Insert tab. We're going to go to the Shapes button. And we're looking for a block arrow, and we want it to be the left block arrow. So it tells you if you scroll over it. It wants us to put it by the minimum audience section. So we're going to draw that arrow here. Now that arrow is pretty narrow, so if you take your mouse where the little circles are, you can stretch it, make it smaller, make it longer, however you want that arrow to look. From there, what you'll want to do is we wanted this to be a red accent 2. So if you wanted to, you could select Shape Fill and fill in with a color and do the outline color if you wanted as well. Okay. But if you just want to go with like a quick way to do it, you can use these shape styles. And if I hit this down arrow and I scroll over this one, it says color filled red accent 2, which is the one we want. So now that has properly colored our arrow. So that completes that first section with adding a shape. So the next thing it wants us to do is we're going to draw some lines. It says on the Insert tab in the Illustrations group, we're going to click the Shapes button. We're going to click the Line section. We're going to click Arrow Line. And we're going to click over to the left side of cell I-15 and drag it up to the left. And let me see here. It says when the line is complete, release the mouse button. Notice the shapes toolbar and the commands within. And we're going to do intense line dark 1. Okay, so here we go. We're going to go back to the add by constraints. So if we go to the add by constraints, we go to the insert tab, shapes, lines. Here's a line arrow. Okay, and I think it's at I-15. And let's say I want my arrow to go that direction. Again, you would pick which setting we want. And I have to go back to remind myself. Intense line dark 1. Okay. So here we go. So here's intense line. That said accent 1. So this is dark 1. And so now it has gone ahead and formatted that particular line arrow. So we're going to look at adding text to a shape. So on the Insert tab in the Illustrations group, we're going to click the Shapes button. This time we're going to do the Stars and Banners section, and we're going to click the Explosion Shape 1. We'll drag the mouse and pointer next to the end of the arrow we just created, and with the shape still selected, we'll type Audience so far. And then I'll come back and look at the other directions. So we are going to go to the Insert Shape, and I don't recall which one we were going with here, but I'm just going to pick one of them. Okay, so we're going to draw that shape, and we're going to type Audience so far. Okay, and then from there we were going to come back here. It says bold and center the text and change the font to size 14. So if we have that highlighted there, we can bold it. We'll center the alignment, and we'll change the font to a size 14. On the Shapes toolbar in the Shape Styles group, we're going to choose the Shape Outline Red Accent 2. So here's where it says Drawing Tools Format. This is really our Shapes toolbar. And so we want to go with Red Accent 2. So I went ahead and I've done that. And then, of course, if there's additional things that you want to do, they can be done also with that toolbar. Just by whether you're wanting to change any of the look. Here's some different shape effects. You know, you can even give your shape a little glow or soft edges. I'm going to go ahead and give ours a little glow. So, you know, you would want to play around with all of the options that are available for you. And that will wrap up adding a shape, adding text to the shape, and drawing the line as well.